Why is everything chrome?
Man, I just had a black man tell me he'd rather be with a fat Neanderthal and a spicy ass cracker than be with a fine black woman. Like, I just don't understand y'all or something. Like, explain to me, what can top a black woman? Like, please inform me, what can really top a black woman? Like, now tell me why you don't like black women. 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 Is it their nappy hair? Is it their natural glare? Tell me why you don't like black women. Tell me why you don't like black women. Tell me why you don't like black women. Is it cause she too black for you? Is it cause she a darker skin tone than your sister or mother? Is it cause you don't like what you see every day in the mirror? They got you hating yourself, do you not see the bigger picture? Prophecies coming clearer, prophecies coming nearer. Recognize you the victor, don't compromise with the killer. Don't sympathize for those Caucasoid suckers, they some nasty mother. And only love your black woman. Real black men will cherish her and put her above every woman. For her, be unapologetic. For her, be...
Man, we're fucking slaves. We're slaves. What law do black people pass? What law have black people passed in this country? What law? We're slaves. Who makes the policies in this country? A white racist system sets the precedent. I was looking at, and it's funny because there were two, I posted one on Facebook. I posted one on Facebook today about this Supreme Court case back in 1951. It was actually April 9th, I believe, 1951, where these two black men in Groveland, Florida had been exonerated, or the Supreme Court had overturned their convictions for rape. They were sentenced to death for raping, believed to be a white woman. They were sentenced to death. And the Supreme Court overturned their case. The sheriff in that town, months after their convictions were overturned, the sheriff in that town went and killed them. I'm looking at South Africa, and they're talking about policy to potentially give the land back to its rightful owners, the indigenous people of South Africa, the black South Africans. The white farmers? Now, this is law that is potentially being put into place, and this is the difference between us and between melanated people and white people. Melanated people say, follow the law. The same law that was implemented by racist white people. Melanated people say, oh, you gotta adhere to the law. Do things within the bounds of the law. Forgetting that, just totally disregarding that, back in 1852 at the Berlin Conference, Europeans got together to chop up a whole continent. Didn't pass no law, didn't go into Akebulon and say, hey, can we talk about this? Can we build some policy? We recognize that you got land here that you're not using. We would, want to work with you on maybe utilizing some of this land. They didn't do none of that. They sat down amongst themselves and chopped up a whole continent. They didn't give a fuck about no law. And Leopold, you got, because we know you go hard. You got the Congo. You take that. Go build your rubber industry. That's what they did. So now, melanated people, and I believe it's the ANC, I could be wrong, but they're talking about passing law over there to give the land back to its rightful owners and to take it. You know what them crackers are saying over there? It's going to be bloodshed. Why? Because they ain't giving fucks about no law. They don't give a fuck about no law. Bring it. We got guns and we got ammo and we've been training. And the Israelis have been over here training us. Bring it, niggas. Because you won't take it without losing some lives. Now, you might get the land, but you're going to have to fight for this. Because they ain't caring about no laws. So now, I want to, because I know there was a couple people that wanted me to talk about this, and I actually had a group discussion yesterday about it. But the movie Us, and I want to change gears here, but I'm really not changing gears. The movie Us, if you haven't seen it, you might want to cut this off and go see it for yourself, because I'm just going to tell it like I received it. And let me tell you something. I haven't listened to any other commentary or analogies on this because I did want to come up with my own. I did, however, unfortunately, there were a few people at the before I had a chance to see it, and I actually wasn't going to go see it, but we wanted to have a group function while I was in the New York, New Jersey area. We wanted to do a group function together because that's one of the premises of the Unity Walk. We're family, so we do things together. That's a big thing. So one of the things, we just decided to go out to this movie after the fundraiser. And so prior to this, I was given some commentary that this was, if the movie Get Out by Jordan Peele, the same producer of this, if Get Out was about race, then they said that Us is about class. And then I had a good partner of mine say, well, it's about class and race. Before I saw the movie, I didn't need to know that the word race was in there. Everything is about race. Everything. We can never negate that. And you have melanated people that will try to negate that, and it's funny to me because we're at the bottom of the totem pole on every scale. But melanated people will say, oh, no, it's not about race. Yeah, it fucking is. So, in any case, what was interesting about that movie before I got, and the only surprise to me, because I was asked the question, was I surprised by any of it? The only surprise which actually lend credence to the fact that it was about class was when the white people had a mirror image of themselves killing them. But what was interesting about that is that, and what I took from it is the fact that, one, you had a group that basically, the underground group, I call it ground zero down here, but in the movie they were the underground. They were the ones who weren't supposed to be seen. They were the ones who were relegated to a lower class. Lower class. They were underground. They were the ones who were considered crazy. And they were trying to break free. They were trying to get up out of there. When you talk about, and I forget the sister's name, but in the movie, the sister that was married to the bourgeois Negro, I call him. When you talk about her, to me, she was Steve Harvey. She was Oprah Winfrey. She was every other melanated person who's tried to break away from the communities from which they come, and they don't want to go back to that shit. They do not want to go back. They want to break away from the community from which they're from, and they don't want to go back. They don't even want to have no ties to that community. So remember, at the end, you find out that she had strangled the girl and wanted to trade places. Which is why when they were in the house and she said that she didn't want to be in that community because she knew what was coming. She knew that there were going to be others that, hey, they're going to come and try to take my place. The class part comes with, again, melanated people being relegated to second class. Remember, the bourgeoisie Negro, he was always trying to compete with the white guy. White guy always had a little bit more. White guy had a special boat. The Negro-pean wants to go get a boat. White guy got a house where he can talk and lights and cameras come on. Negro-pean wants that. But again, he wants it. So he's still trying to get on that level with white folks. Still trying to get up there, even though he's doing better than the average brother or sister on the lower level. On that lower level, even though he's doing better than them, he still is in constant competition, constantly trying to be up there with the European. The lower level, remember at the end, they got hands across, it's almost like the hands across America. The lower level said they got to a point, and remember they're doing Jeremiah 11:11, throughout the Jordan Peele's or whatever his name is, Mr. Peele, he's doing Jeremiah 11:11. They keep showing flicks. Even the clock at one point said 11:11. Okay, it's bedtime. And then when you go to that passage, you see what that passage says. So the relevance of that and the relevance of them having their hands across America is the fact that the sister knew that they were coming. She knew they were coming. She knew came from that element, revolt, but she knew. She knew that the thing is this, when they came, It wasn't about equality. When they came, it wasn't about equality. When they came, it wasn't about, look, you left us on that lower level down there to die. We just want to be equal with you. When they came, they didn't come begging. When they came, they didn't come trying to implement policy. When they came murdering motherfuckers. Get up out of here, because you motherfuckers been fucking us for so long down here on the lower level. We're gonna get your motherfucking ass up out of here. Now it ain't even about equality. Now it's about taking your place altogether and ending your breath. And that's what the Hands Across America was for. Like, yo, all lower level people, ground zero people, all of us, it's time for us to unite and connect against this larger beast. It's still coming through Hollywood. He still had to get that pushed through. So, how does that relate? How is that relating to our present situation in this country? They are currently trying to decapitate the middle class. The middle class is trying to hold on for dear life, because the middle class is literally the middleman between the poor and the rich. So the rich, they want to control it all. So they are really trying to create a class of the haves and the have-nots. And a lot of people can see that coming. Except, of course, many of the Negropeans, because the Negropeans been the lower class. So and not the Negropeans, excuse me, let me rephrase that, because the Negropeans haven't been the lower class. The Negropeans are the ones with the European mindset that's been instilled in them, so they have European values and ways, and they're always going to protect the system. The other thing about that movie that I have to talk about and remind people is that they always have that bourgeois class that is going to protect the system. That's their job. They're the middleman to protect the system, which is why you get rich blacks talking about, and I just had a conversation yesterday with some brothers about this. You get rich blacks who talk about, man, I don't want them niggas down there living up here with me. Man, I ain't going back to the hood, man. Shoot, I don't want to be around them niggas. But you get them rich blacks, man, I don't want them niggas living next door to me. No, they will always say, they won't say, this is facts I'm talking. They won't say, I don't want poor people living next door to me. They won't say, I don't want, I don't want trashy people living next to me. They will be case specific. I don't want them niggas down there living up here next to me. I don't want them niggas from the hood living next to me. They will say that, and they will have no qualms saying it. They will say it freely, like it's just the most brilliant thing in the world. Like this is something that people know. And so that was kind of the element she wanted to get up out of there. Remember when they came in, what did the bourgeois Negro do? He wanted to start offering, you can take me to the ATM, I ain't got no money, or you can take this, you can take that, because that's the mindset. That's the mindset. Not knowing, no, we tired of your shit. You wanted to switch places with us and leave us down there to suffer. Leave us for dead. So now we're literally going to leave you for dead. Now we literally are going to leave you for dead. When she came out and said, we are Americans. The indigenous of the land. The indigenous of the land. Signs and symbols for the conscious minds. We are the indigenous of the land. The ones that you came and stole from. The ones that you came and relegated to a lower class. The ones that you have now considered to be an outcast class because you came over here. You're not the original beings. Whether you're Europeans or whatever, you're not the originals. We've been here. So if you haven't seen the movie, hopefully I didn't give you too much, but that's just my take on it. Does it relate to real life? I mean, You can get something out of every movie. They hide stuff in movies. We look at it as entertainment. That's their whole function, is to put it in a movie, a magazine, a newspaper clipping. But when they came out with Hollywood, dealing in sorcery and magic and technology, when they came out with that, they knew that they could put things in movies and on television, and which is why the one-eyed devil is probably one of the greatest deceptive machines that they have created, because they knew that people attract to vision, particularly black people. We're a visual people, so we would rather see some shit than read some shit. And so they have taken that and capitalized on it and said, you know what? We know they would rather see some shit than read some shit. So what we're going to do is we're really going to use mind manipulation now. We're going to use all of that. We're going to use mind manipulation and everything that we can, technology. So you got Negroes out here that actually believe love and hip hop is real shit. Like they believe it. Like they believe Housewives of Atlanta, like that's some real shit. I can't even see this. But I was going to show you some swirl shit, but yeah, so with that, yeah, I was going to show you some stuff. So, but in any case, yeah. So I just wanted to share that. Is what it is. But we don't want freedom, man. We don't want freedom. We ain't even going at it like that. Freedom, we have to create systems. We can't be in there. We can't work within a system and think that we're going to be free. They're not going to allow you to change the system. It's just not going to happen. You have to destroy and demolish the system. My brother, Dr. Aaron D. Johnson, talked about that this weekend at the fundraiser. If you think you're going to work within their system and get free, it's a mirage. And for those who make a little bit more than somebody else, if you think you're free, it's a mirage. Shit, you're still paying taxes and you shouldn't be. So that within itself, you white folks, everybody else, you paying taxes and it's against the law. You shouldn't even be paying taxes. So that within itself, makes you a slave. I mean, anytime somebody's manipulating you like that and they have the control and the power and they're not going to jail and you're not putting any pressure on them, and they can call a shot like that and you're going to adhere to it. And if you don't adhere to it, they say that you're going to be the motherfucker to go to jail. You're a slave. Just is. I mean, real talk. So with that, next Unity Walk, Baltimore, Maryland. We don't have an address yet, but we will coming up. It's being worked on. After that, July 20th is going to be major Unity Walk, Kansas City, Kansas. Go on Eventbrite. You can get your tickets now. They are free. But I would hope that everybody would come out to that. This is for the whole U.S. It's July 20th, Kansas City, Kansas. You can go on our Unity Walk webpage, www.theunitywalk.com, to find out the actual address for that. It's at Kendaro Ruins, which is one of the historical sites for the Underground Railroad. We're going to have that space from 12 noon that day until 11 p.m. that night. And then we have an event July 12th. That's going to be in Long Island. It's actually not a Unity Walk event, but it is going to have heavy hitters. I will be speaking there. Rizza Islam will be there. Pop Darby will be there. Red Pill will be there. I'm hearing now Dr. Umar will be there to speak. So it's going to be, it's like a heavy lineup of heavy hitters. So you'll probably want to come out for that. I believe you can go online and get your tickets for that. Just check my Instagram page for more details. I'll be posting up more about that. That's going to be July 12th through the 14th. So, we got events coming up. But we got to work. You know, my thing is I'm looking at creating systems. My thing is I'm looking at what we can build, what tangible shit we can get together. I'm looking at group economics. This individualistic shit, it's not working. We got a lot of Negroes out here getting rich individually, and they're not giving nothing back. They're not giving a damn thing back. And to me, I mean, people can get rich, wealthy individually, but if you're not giving back and then you think you're still free, That's the fallacy in it. You think you're still free. I mean, come on, man. We gotta stop it with the games and the nonsense. So I'm looking at working with people that want to work together. I'm looking at people that want to practice group economics, that want to build together, that actually want to build community. So with that said, I'm going to get up out of here. Peace, prosperity, salutations. One, I love you all. Until later, I'm out. Check out the app. Go to my webpage again, www.yarimakarama.com, to download that app, because that's where I'm working from. Peace.